Hello everyone, welcome to my review of The Blade Itself by Joe Abercrombie. This is actually the first book in a trilogy called the First Law Trilogy, and I have them back here, and he has other books within his universe, and they're next to it. And so if I get around to them, I get around to them. But this is actually the first time I read a Joe Abercrombie, which I've heard his name through other book YouTubers that highly recommend it. It is a dark fantasy, so if you've never read dark fantasy, or you want to give it a try, you should totally give it a try. It is, like, I will note, it's not as dark as like a Game of Thrones. It's not as dark as a Game of Thrones. It's dark in its own way, which makes it really unique and stand out. And so basically in the story we have like three main characters, and arguably four main characters, and I'll talk about the fourth one later. But the first main character is Logan Ninefingers. So Logan Ninefingers is basically the barbarian of the story. And we start off with him, in the middle of a fight. These monsters called Flatheads. It's basically their versions of the Trollocs from the Wheel of Time or the Uruk-hai from Lord of the Rings. Like, it's basically beastmen that kills people. It's chaotic, right? So we find him, like, his village was destroyed, his family was killed, so he's like, well, I'm all alone. And he can talk to the spirits, which is a unique power to him. And the spirits say, hey, someone's looking for you. So he's like, well, I guess I'll do that now because I have nothing else. And I'll talk more about how that ties in later. And then our second main character is Glotka, at least that's how I pronounced it. He is basically, like, these characters are morally gray characters. Like, no one in this story, the main character I'm speaking of, are like, this is a definitive good guy character. No, these are morally gray. Glotka is probably more like just bad. He's just evil. Like, I don't like Glotka, but it's not saying that I did not like reading about his chapters. No, I liked reading all the characters' chapters. It's just like he wrote them so well. It's like, yeah, I don't want to be friends with this guy. Like, he's selfish. He is handicapped himself, and he's an inquisitor that tortures people and like removes their teeth and their nails and other things to like make them confess to things they didn't do. So he's just an evil character. He's very selfish too. And then we have our other main character. It's like Giselle. He's basically a nobleman training to win this sword contest, which a lot of people don't have hope that he would win. And so we get through his story. His plot lines are like his relationships and him complaining about training. And it sounds more fun than how I'm expressing it right now. But Joe Abercrombie does a great job making all these plot threads interesting. Now I'll go to the fourth main character. It's like Pharaoh. She only has like a few, Ferro. She only has like a few chapters, not many. She's like found by this magic guy. She's wanted. She's a killer. I guess if you include her, she's worse than Glotka in my opinion. Like, 'cause she'll kill anybody. She does not care. But she doesn't speak the common tongue, which is interesting because once all the characters are like bundled, finally meet, like she's the one that doesn't speak any of the other characters' language. So I thought that was kind of interesting take on it. Now I'm going to go into the spoiler section. I really enjoyed like Logan's story. He was my favorite. Seeing how he has a good side of him. He'll do the right thing even though he still has bad thoughts of like, oh, I could just leave this guy to die, but he'll do the right thing in the end. He meets Bayek. Bayek is the character that ties all these other characters together. Bayek is the head of the Magic Order. He's like the first one. He's still alive, so a lot of people don't believe in magic or believe it's really him. So that's another like plot thread once all the characters meet in the big city where Glotka and Giselle are at, right? And so Logan's story was really interesting, and we get to learn about the politics of the North where this new king is like dominating, and he has beef with Logan and other people, and that guy's trying to recruit Bayek, and Bayek's like, nah. And so unless they said it, like, I still don't really understand like what Bayek wants with all these characters, because again, like I said, he ties them all together. And so Logan and Bayek travel to the city, and then we switch to Glotka's chapters. His boss is like how the government's like split to like two different councils, if I recall correctly. It's like open and closed council, and one of his higher ups is like, you need to go. Basically, it's like political, eliminating political adversaries or opponents. He has a list of people, they get killed. Glotka's trying to like have people falsely say they did something when they didn't do it and eliminate potential people for power. And his boss is basically like trying to gain more power. And near the end, when with Bayek is introduced, he tells Glotka like, hey, you need to prove that that's not Baez. But Baez is like, we the readers know, like, I'm like 99% like, yeah, I feel like that is Baez because he's magical. He looks like the statues around town. He knows so much that people wouldn't know. I really did enjoy the story where they go into the tower in the city that Bias is the key to. And so it's like him, Logan, Glocka, and Giselle, like all the main characters minus Pharaoh, go in to see this tower no one's been able to open except Baez and witness magical things. And so that was really cool. I liked the basically the climax to Giselle's plot, like because we went through him and through his training sessions. He was about to lose the final fight, and then Baez cheats. He's like, I'm gonna enhance his abilities, and so he enhances it. But like Logan like knew immediately. He's like, oh, this guy's cheating. And then Glocka like knew something was wrong and he cheated somehow, but he doesn't know it was Baez's doing. And it's fun to note that Glocka actually won the contest when he was not like when he was younger, because he used to be like one of the top swordsmen, which was really interesting. And so that was a cool plot thread. My least favorite of the plot threads, like of the three, if you don't count Pharaoh, is Giselle's. Like he has like a love plot. He falls in love with a girl who's not noble blood, and that's like a whole class system story, which is, I mean, I thought it was well written. I'm just not a fan of those kinds of stories. I don't know. It's not as actiony to me. Maybe I like more action in my stories. That's probably why. That's probably why I liked Logan and Glocka's, because some stuff was happening. But in the end, basically Baez gets all the characters together. It turns out the magic guy with Pharaoh was like a brother, somebody that works with Baez in recruiting all these characters together. And for what purpose? If they said it, I didn't catch it. I'm not entirely sure. That's probably, this book definitely is a setup for the second book. Because as I was reading it, I got to like the last 100 pages, and I'm like, I don't feel like there's any like resolution, or like there's no wrap up. And I was like, there's no way, this is probably a setup. And it definitely felt like a setup, which I don't think is a bad thing. Not every book has to be like, boom, closed, done. It's okay to do a setup, I think. And so my rating for the story is I gave it a 4.5 out of 5. I thought it was above average. I really did enjoy this book. I recommend this book to people who've never read dark fantasy. I'm eager to read the sequel to it. I will say that my next book, well, I'm actually currently reading, is the second Redwall book, because I'm taking a break from like adult fantasy. I'm going to get into like read a middle grade book, because why not? I'm actually really, really busy right now. The book is called Mossflower, and people that know me, I'm just really busy. It took me like a month to finish this current book, which it really shouldn't have taken me a month, but I had a lot going on. But yeah, Mossflower's next. After that, I'm either going to do The Darker Shade of Magic, the first one by V.E. Schwab, or take a break from fantasy and read an Agatha Christie book that was recommended to me. I'm eager to get into that. I heard, she's very famous, and I'm really curious to see how that book goes. And so, yeah, that's basically what I have going on. I'd like to know your thoughts on the Blade itself, if you've seen it or if you want to try to read it. It is definitely like not for kids. I will say that. I mean, I'm hesitant to even. It's an adult fantasy, dark fantasy book. But if you're, but yeah, so I'll recommend it for adults to read. But yeah, overall, enjoy it. Want to read the next one? Give it a good old 4.5. Thanks for joining me. Hope you have a good day. Bye.